everybody. Welcome to SoulSpace podcast number 137.
Welcome.
It
It's still February.
is.
Yay.
What? 2 more weeks?
A couple weeks of February
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
2026.
This year is flying by.
It is already. It is
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Like we're already like almost through February. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It feels like time goes
But-
faster as you get older. And you know what? Maybe I should get rid of that little.
Right. We were
Thank-
just talking about our self-talk.
We're talking about self-talk and limits.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to be our topic today, kind of. We're going to talk about loving your way out of limits.
Yeah.
And we might talk a little bit about the Olympics and what they go through, and just we really need to watch our words to ourselves, because a lot of times we're getting down on things that we shouldn't, or making excuses for things that we can't do because of our age or because of our life situation or whatever. A lot of that's a lie.
Yeah. Like we limit ourselves.
Yeah.
Where we don't need to be limited.
Right.
We're creating limits that don't really exist.
They don't need to be there. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that today, and getting rid of those limits that we put on ourselves when we don't need them. I mean, sometimes, if you're 90, you don't want to do the monobob, but
maybe you do.
Yeah, but maybe you do. I mean, I would ride a sled down the hill, but I don't know that I'd do the monobob. I would do a bobsled, though, with a couple people in it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not 90, but.
Right. But the thing is, if you were 90, you said, yeah, I'm going to do the monobob. You could do the monobob.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
people that skydive at 90.
There are. My BFF's parents did at late 70s, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah. I put myself on a limit on that one.
Well, that's not a limit, that's a preference.
Yeah.
Very different things.
I prefer to be on land.
You're not telling yourself that you can't do it. You're telling yourself, my preference is not to skydive.
Right. I don't.
Very different things.
But I do want to go in a hot air balloon.
Ooh.
That is on my bucket list.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I have to find someone to do it with, because my husband, that's not a preference of his. But I think it would be a blast.
Be beautiful. Well,
yeah. So anyway, write down some of your limits and change them up.
We're going to talk about that today, and maybe talk about how we can turn that into a little bit of an exercise that we can do together this week.
Right.
We were talking about it earlier, so we'll get into it as we go.
We'll get it.
But we're excited today about this topic, because we are all about not limiting ourselves, because we know that everything is possible. Yeah. And so I think it's really important to touch on that and maybe why some of those limits exist.
Right. Yeah. And, a lot of it's the way we grew up, things that we didn't experience growing up, so we don't think that it's possible. There's just so much out there that you can explore and do if you don't put those limits on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And where is that limit coming from? Sometimes, it can be important to realize that aha moment of, oh, that didn't come from me. Not that you have to dig for it, but you can realize and have that realization, like, oh, I didn't come up with that limit. I learned it from somebody else. I learned it from a parent or a grandparent or an aunt and uncle or a teacher that told me that wasn't possible for me, whatever. Right. I hope your teachers don't do that, because, but it does happen, right? Where sometimes humans say things and it really sticks into our psyche. And so it can kind of be important to have that aha moment. Is that limit something that's maybe not my preference? Or am I limiting myself because I've been told, or I've been thinking my whole life that it's not possible for me, and that's just something that's just in there that I can now let go of? Yeah.
Or is it a fear that you really don't know why you have, and you shouldn't have it, because there's no reason you can't do the thing, So yeah. And sometimes women have limits that men don't have. And a lot of times we just put that upon ourselves. It's not true. You
Right.
know, we can do most things that a man can do, but we were squashed for so long. I think I sound like a feminist here, but
not to say we aren't.
Yeah, true. You know, there's a little bit of truth to that. Yeah. But there are a lot of things that people said women couldn't do, you know.
Right.
Growing up, I loved to ride horses and break horses. And I had a gal that I really looked up to that could ride any horse that anyone brought her. And so could I, because I knew that she could do it. And so I knew I could do it.
You had that role model that lifted you up so
Right.
that you
Yeah.
knew, oh, that isn't a limit for me.
Yeah. And my dad was very encouraging, you know, you can
Mhm.
do this, you can do this. And that was so awesome to have a dad that let me do the things that I wanted to do like that, because he was good with horses. So he could have done it for me, but I broke my own horse and trained it and rode it, you know.
Right.
So yeah, there are a lot of things that you can break the mold. And I think when I was growing up, I liked that. And I always had the thing in my head that no, I'm going to prove to you that I can do this.
Right.
And that was one of my strengths, that I could do anything I put my mind to.
Right. I also a person, I have never liked being put in a box and saying you're this way, you're that way. You can only do this, you can only do that.
Yeah.
I am a big advocate of there is no box.
Right.
There is no box other than the box that you put yourself in. And so for me, I never liked to be in a box. And people would say, you have to do this, or you have to do that, or you have to go this way, or you have to believe this, or whatever. And that was never for me. I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. That's just how I am. Everybody knows. I don't like to be told what to do. It's one of my things. But there's a reason for that. It's because I don't want other people to tell me what my limits are.
Right.
I get to decide
Yeah.
how far I can go in any avenue that I choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what we, kind of want to start to empower you guys to do, is to say there are no limits except for the ones that I set for myself.
Right.
And I think that is an important thing to consider.
It really
is. Is it a limit that I'm setting, or is a limit somebody else has told me is my limit?
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to talk about today a lot, is question those limits. You know, is it something that you're making up in your head, or that you've been told along the line somewhere, but it's really not true?
Do you still believe it?
Yeah.
Or are you questioning it? And is there a reason for that?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So let's get into
a
little bit about in this little gem of a book.
Yes. So we're bringing forward again The Power is Within You by Louise Hay. Just an excellent book on all levels. And she just has a few sections about, learning to love yourself, like we were talking about last week and the week before. And the next chapter is chapter 9, and it's loving the child within. And childhood and personal limits go hand in hand. A lot of times the things that are holding us back, or old beliefs, or things that aren't serving us, come from our childhood and have kind of stuck in our psyche and our subconscious. And so I feel like this is a topic that's really important to talk about if we're talking about releasing old limits that aren't serving us and where we want to be moving forward to.
Yeah. We take on a lot of limits that we don't need to listen to, and it's really sad. I mean, we need to figure that out early in life, I think.
I mean, the earlier the better. Right now is good.
Yeah. Right now would be good.
I'll take right now. So let's do some of this together, shall we?
Yeah.
So if you do have this book, which I hope you've purchased by now, I'm on page 117, which is chapter 9, called Loving the Child Within, which is a beautiful way to begin a chapter, I think.
Yeah.
If you can't get close to other people, it is because you don't know how to be close to your own inner child. The child in you is scared and hurting. Be there for your child.
That's beautiful.
I love it. Very deep. Makes us think about, wow, There are some things in there that maybe were hurting me or still are causing me to, and that's part of the limits too. Different things that made me scared or hurt when I was a child.
Right.
And if I can begin to let go of that energy of those things and
Mhm.
those things, it can really help me to release those limiting beliefs that came from that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of work that everybody really should do on the inner child.
Mhm.
Because if you don't heal those things, they never go away really. I mean, you can keep pushing them down, but somewhere along the line, they come up again and again, and those beliefs or things that happen that you haven't let go of just uh, put limits on you, and if you can get over that, your life is going to be so much better. I
Yeah.
mean, it's work, and no one can do it but you. They can't, no one else can do the work for you on this is
Mhm.
something really important that other people can't do it for you. You have to do the work, but it's huge. It's huge. It'll really change your life.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing about doing work with your inner child is that it doesn't have to take a lot of time.
No,
It can
no.
even be, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be arduous. It doesn't have to be huge. All it is kind of like creating that as part of your practice of
Yeah, yeah.
regaining that love for that real inner part of yourself
Mhm.
and allowing that those old childhood hurts to be healed.
Right. And I think last week we talked about too, if you don't love yourself, who are you gonna, you're with yourself your whole life. So you might as well get over it and figure it out, because you can't really have amazing relationships with others if you can't have that with yourself first.
And
Right.
part of that can be healing the inner child part
Yeah,
of
it
yourself.
is. Yeah.
It can be a big deal for people where they can have huge relief or breakthroughs just
Mhm.
by doing one session. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah. It
powerful.
doesn't mean you have to relive all your trauma and drama from childhood.
You don't have to.
No, not at all.
No, and I think people that's what holds people back from doing it.
I do
It's
too.
because they
Yeah.
feel like they need to do that and they don't.
Right.
That's a
And they're scared
misconception
to do it because they think they
because
have
of
to
that.
relive things, and you don't have
You
to.
don't have to. Okay, so one of the core issues that we want to begin to explore is healing the forgotten child within. Many of us have ignored our inner child for far too long. It doesn't matter how old you are, there is a little child within you who needs love and acceptance. If you're a woman, no matter how self reliant you are, you have a little girl who's very tender and needs help. And if you are a man, no matter how macho you are, you still have a little boy inside of you who craves warmth and affection. Every age that you have been is within you, within your consciousness and memory. As children, when something went wrong, you tended to believe that there was something wrong with you. Children develop the idea that if they could only do it right, then parents or whoever would love them and they wouldn't beat them or punish them. So, whenever the child wants something and doesn't get it, he or she believes, I'm not good enough, I'm defective. And as we grow older, we reject certain parts of ourselves. At this point in our lives right now, we need to begin to make ourselves whole and accept every part of who we are. The part that did all the stupid things, the part that was funny looking, the part that was scared, the part that was very foolish and silly, the part that had egg on its face. Every single part of ourselves. I think that we often turn off or tune out around the age of 5. When we make that decision because we think that there's something wrong with us and we're not going to have anything to do with the child anymore. There is a parent inside as well. You have a child and you have a parent, and most of the time, the parent scolds the child almost on a nonstop basis. If you listen to your inner dialogue, you can hear the scolding. You can hear the parent tell you what you were doing wrong or how you are not good enough. Consequently, we begin a war with ourselves and we start to criticize ourselves the way our parents may have been criticizing us. You're stupid. You're not good enough. You didn't do it right. You screwed up again. It becomes a habit pattern. When we become adults, most of us totally ignore the child within us, or we criticize the child in the same way we used to be criticized. We continue the pattern over and over again. And I think this is one of the ways that we create limits for ourselves.
Yeah.
We tell ourselves we're not good enough to have the things that we want. We tell ourselves that there's something wrong with me. That's why I can't do X, Y, and Z. It almost becomes an excuse. But what that really is, it's a limit.
Yeah.
It's a way that we're limiting ourselves because of what we heard. It may not be the intention of the parent or the adult or the others that were talking to us, but it becomes internalized in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It brings to mind I don't remember the name of the book, but the work by Byron Katie. She always would ask, is this true? When you have something going in your head, always ask yourself, is this true? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not the truth. And it's just something that you're telling yourself. So, and that's always run through my head. I remember my mom reading her books after my dad died. And it really helped her a lot in her grieving and doing a lot of inner work after that. And she just loved it, it helped her so much. So, and I remember reading one of the books of hers, and it was so true, if you just ask that simple question, is this true? It's like, wow, no, that's not true. Why am I thinking that?
Right.
It's really cool if you can remember just that one line,
Is it true?
Is this true? Is this really true?
And one of the ways that I always like to talk about, and I've talked on a podcast before, of knowing if that inner dialogue is my actual truth that my soul knows is my truth,
Right.
or is it just a pattern of thought? Is how does it feel?
Yeah.
If it feels good when I think it, then it's in alignment and resonance with what my soul knows is my truth. If it doesn't feel good when I think it, then I know that it's out of alignment with what my soul knows is true.
Yeah.
And then that's a pattern that I need to begin releasing. And I had this come up last week.
Yeah.
And it's a big one for me. Yeah, it was a big one for me. And I realized in that moment when I had that negative thought that was a pattern for me. And I was like, oh, well, I can begin releasing that one.
Yeah.
Because like that's not it's not what I want, is it? And I said, no, that's not what I want.
Right.
So now it's time for me to begin work on that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It can come at you at any time.
Yeah.
But realizing, like you said, is it true?
Yeah.
And I realized that when I thought it didn't feel good to me. And so I realized that it's not the real truth.
Yeah.
It was a thought pattern.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one that's not serving me because it's not in alignment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes your ego will do those kind of tricks too, tell you something in your head. But then your ego is there to try and keep you safe, And so that's another thing you can ask, is that true? What,
Right.
It's just so easy to flip that switch and pivot.
Right. And a lot of the things that our parents, grandparents, loved ones, people, adults when we were younger were telling us were to keep us safe.
Yeah.
It didn't usually was not for a negative reason. It was usually to keep us safe.
Yeah.
But then within ourselves, we created extra limits on top of that aren't really serving us now as adults.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay, what else?
What else? There's plenty else. So I'll read this little section because I really like this story.
Okay.
I once heard John Bradshaw, author of several marvelous books on healing the inner child, say that each of us has 25,000 hours of parent tapes within us by the time we are adults. How many hours of those tapes do you think are telling you how wonderful you are? How much says that you are loved or that you are bright and intelligent? Or that you could do anything you wanted to and would grow up to be the greatest person? In reality, how many hours of those tapes are saying no, no, no in all its many forms? It's no wonder we say no to ourselves or should all the time. We are responding to those old tapes. However, they are only tapes and are not the reality of your being, just like we were talking about. They are not the truth of your existence. They are just tapes you carry within, and they can be erased or re-recorded. Every time you say that you are scared, realize it is the child in you who's scared. The grown-up really isn't afraid, yet the adult isn't being there for the child. The adult and the child need to develop a relationship with each other. Talk to each other about everything you do. I know it may sound silly, but it works. Let the child know that no matter what happens, you will never turn away or run away. You will always be there for it and love it. For instance, if you were very young, you if when you were for instance, if when you were very young, you had a bad experience with a dog. That is, maybe it scared you or even bit you. The little child inside could still be frightened of dogs, even though now you are a great big adult. You may see a dog on the street that is teeny, but the little child inside you reacts in a total panic. It says, "Dog, I'm going to be hurt." This is a wonderful opportunity for the parent inside of you to say to the child, "It's okay. I'm grown up now. I will take care of you. I won't let the dog hurt you. You don't have to be frightened anymore." Start parenting your own child in this way. They're talking about your own inner child.
Yeah, that's really good. So when you have those thoughts, be your own parent sometimes,
Right?
I like that.
It's really even about pivoting and flipping that script.
Yeah.
When you feel that happen within yourself,
Right.
flipping the script to where okay, I know that this is something in me from childhood, and I can talk to myself and I can let myself release some of that fear because I know that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
And we're not really generalizing into like panic attacks and things like that because we understand that that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is that by working with your inner child, sometimes you can begin to release those things that you know aren't really what you know is your truth. Those things that you know aren't really rational, and to begin to release those things, those thought patterns that are creating those types of things.
Yeah.
Those anxieties and fears and whatnot.
Right. That's good stuff. Okay, healing the hurts of the past. I have found that working with the inner child is most valuable in helping to heal the hurts of the past. We are not always in touch with the feelings of the frightened little child within us. If your childhood was full of fear and battling, and you now mentally beat yourself up, you are continuing to treat your inner child in much the same way. The child inside, however, has no place to go. You need to go beyond your parents' limitations. You need to connect with the little lost child inside. He or she needs to know that you care. Take a moment now and tell your child that you care. I care. I love you. I really love you. Maybe you've been saying this to the big person, the adult inside of you. So start talking to the little child. Visualize that you are taking him or her by the hand and go everywhere together for a few days and see what wonderfully joyous experiences you can have. You need to communicate with that part of yourself. What are the messages you want to hear? Sit down quietly, close your eyes, and talk to your child. If you haven't talked to her or him in 62 years, it may take a few times before the child you believe that you really want to talk to it. Be persistent. I want to talk to you. I want to see you. I want to love you. You will eventually connect. You may see the child inside you and you may feel it or you may hear it. One of the first statements that you can make when you first talk to your child is an apology. Say you are sorry that you haven't talked to it in all these years, or that you are sorry for scolding it for so long. Tell the child that you want to make up for all the time spent apart from one another. Ask it how you can make it happy. Ask the child what frightens him or her. Ask how you can help and ask what it wants from you. Start out with simple questions. You will get the answers. What can I do to make you happy? What would you like today? For instance, you can say to the child, I want to jog. What do you want to do? He or she may answer, go to the beach. I'm in for that.
Yeah.
The communication will have begun. Be consistent. If you can take just a few moments a day to begin to connect with the little person inside you, life is going to be a lot better. I love that. When I don't know if it was during coaching, when we were learning coaching or what, but there was an exercise that I did once somewhere along the line, that was communicating with your inner child, and we did a meditation. Do you remember doing
Oh, yeah.
this? And we got to ask a few questions to our inner child during a meditation, and then give your inner child a big hug and just hold the inner child for a while. And that was a huge exercise to do.
That was a big deal for
Amazing.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's exactly what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And we did this exercise that's in this book,
Yeah.
but in like a visualization way,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yep.
you absolutely can. And for me, it works the best because I am very visual.
Yeah.
And for you, just being able to do a meditation, I know that's really powerful too.
Yeah.
And so doing this exercise as a meditation or as a visualization for yourself
Mm-hmm.
can be incredibly powerful. I know
Yep.
for me, it really was. And as you were reading it, I was picturing back to when we did that exercise, to be honest.
Yeah.
So when you brought it up, I was like, I'm reliving that
Right.
exercise for
Yeah.
myself. It was super powerful, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. And you can heal a lot of the stuff with your parents that way too. Like when growing up, in a Scandinavian background, we didn't hug a lot, or we weren't lovey-dovey. You always knew they loved you, but we didn't show that in person really. And so I remember, like, after both of my parents had passed away, I did the visualization where I got a hug from them. And it was so healing. It was amazing how that felt, because I didn't get that growing up, but I didn't feel like I wasn't loved or anything. I had an awesome childhood, but still that hug, and as adults we hugged each other a lot more than probably when we were kids. I don't know. I don't know, but it just felt good to go back and revisit kind of that meditation, but with your parents. It was really cool. I remember that being really healing. So, you can hug anyone you want when you're in a meditation.
Right.
It's so awesome.
You can do this with any relationship.
Yeah.
But starting with yourself can be
really good.
Incredibly healing, because we are talking about starting with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how much better you will feel if you do some inner child work. It's life changing.
And it's so simple. Like I said, 5 minutes. You could do that in 5 minutes.
Easily. Yeah.
And then it's done. And then you're like, okay, I did that for the day. I did something for myself.
Right. Yeah. Oh, here's some more stuff. Yeah, some more exercises we could go through.
Exercises are wonderful.
Yes, I love them. So, communicating with your inner child. Some of you may already be doing inner child work. There are many books on the subject, and many workshops and lectures are given about it. I've listed some books at the end for further study. Self-Parenting by John Pollard III is excellent, and it's filled with wonderful exercises and activities that you can do with your inner child. If you are serious about doing practical work with your inner child, I recommend that you pick up this book. As I said before, there is a lot of help others offered in this area. Excuse me. You are not alone and helpless, but you need to reach out and ask for help so that you can get assistance. Something that came to me when I was reading that part, I don't know why it came to me then, but something that really is good helping heal your inner child stuff is having grandkids. Because you laugh and play and you do fun things with them that you probably didn't do with your own kids, or maybe you did, but you haven't done for a long time, like skipping down the sidewalk, or, kids love to do that. And when their grandma can do that with the kids, oh, they just think that is the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah.
So, do that even if you don't have grandkids or kids. Skip down the sidewalk, and
I love skipping.
I know, I do too. It's so fun. But you can do that and be silly and laugh, and that is so healing for that inner child, that it needs to come out once in a while, so yeah,
I love that.
off my soapbox. Anyway, another suggestion I have is to find a photograph of yourself as a child. Really look at that photograph. Do you see a miserable little kid? Do you see a happy child? Whatever you see, connect with it. If you see a frightened child, ask it why it's frightened and start doing something to make it feel better. Find several photos of your younger self and talk to the child in each photo. It helps to talk to your child in the mirror. If you had a nickname as a child, use that name. Have a box of tissues handy. I suggest that you sit down in front of the mirror, because if you are standing, as soon as it gets difficult, you will run out the door. Instead, sit down with your box of tissues and start talking. I remember doing a mirror exercise with your inner child at the shop one time, and a lot of people had a hard time with it, but it was so powerful, and we moved through it. Everybody moved through what it was they were dealing with, and it was amazing.
Mirror work is so powerful in general.
Yeah,
and adding this component to it.
Wow. Yeah.
That's something
good.
I actually have never done.
Really?
Is the mirror work with the inner child.
Oh, yeah.
But I could absolutely see that, because I mean, if doing the visualization exercise is powerful, doing the mirror work with that, wow. Yeah. I can absolutely see that.
A little fruit fly.
Another exercise you can do is to communicate through writing. Again, lots of information will surface. Use 2 different colored pens or felt markers. With one colored pen in your dominant hand, write a question. With the other colored pen in your non-dominant hand, let your child write the answer. It's a very fascinating exercise. When you are writing the question, the adult thinks it knows the answer. But by the time you pick up the pen with the awkward hand, the answer often comes out quite differently than expected. You can draw together. Sorry, the bug is just,
I know,
just on me right now.
Are pesty.
It's warm out now. You can draw together too. Many of you probably loved drawing and coloring when you were little children, until you were told to be neat and not to draw out of the lines. So begin drawing again. Use your non-dominant hand to draw a picture about an event that just happened. Notice how you feel. Ask your child a question and just let it draw with the non-dominant hand and see what it shows. If you can get together with others in small core groups or support groups, you can work on these ideas together. You can all let your inner children draw pictures. Then you can sit around and carefully discuss what the pictures mean. The information you receive can be surprisingly insightful. And I like that it just says, just start.
Yeah.
Just let it flow.
Because what are you waiting for?
And that's when the best things happen, because sometimes it's our need to have that perfectionism, that if we can begin to let that go, it can be a really powerful exercise. Yeah. So I like this, where it doesn't allow you to be perfect because you're using your non-dominant hand.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're ambidextrous, that's not fair.
A little bit. Not huge, but
oh my gosh, trying to do any type of writing or things. I can do some things with both hands, but writing is just off the table.
Yeah. Writing is hard, but I can paint with both hands.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That can help you with your abstracts, Tracy.
I should try that.
Ooh, that would be fun. Oh, I want to see you do that.
Maybe we should do that at an artistic alchemy club.
Ooh, we're going to add it in, guys.
Here we go.
All right. And here's what we were talking about earlier. Play with your little child.
Yeah.
Play is important at every age.
Mm-hmm.
It just really is. And to have that joy of just being and doing something that's fun. It wants to be in my face.
Yeah. They like
It's a
to
nap.
go up your nose.
It's a nap. do things that your child likes to do. When you were little, what did you really like to do? When was the last time you did it? Too often, the parent inside us stops us from having fun because it's not the adult thing to do. So take the time to play and have fun. Do the silly things you did when you were young, such as jumping in piles of leaves and running under the hose spray. Watch, watch other children at play. You never know what's going to happen on our podcast.
Right. I might have got them that time.
You might have. Watch other children at play. It will bring back memories of the games you played. And you kind of talked about this with your grandchildren, how playing with them reminds you of the fun things that you did in childhood and brings out your inner child to play.
Yeah.
If you want more fun in your life, who doesn't? Who doesn't want more fun? I want more fun.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Duh. Like, a lot of people live and they go, I wish I could have more fun in my life. Well,
it's a choice.
Why can't you?
But
I have fun every day.
I do too.
We talked about how skipping is fun. Who's stopping you from skipping?
Right.
Other people will look at you and smile because they're like, oh, they're just so silly.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
You know, the best commercial on TV, I haven't seen it for a while, but at Christmas time it was on a lot, was the three old ladies sitting on a park bench watching kids sled down the hill. And then one day one of them brought a package, and it was these pads that you could put in a sled, so they were more comfy. And they were like 90 something, and they all three slid down the hill and laughed and giggled, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
So fun, you know. So why don't you do stuff like that?
Why not?
Yeah.
That's the question to ask yourself. Why am I not allowing myself to have the fun in life that I want to be having? Is it a limit that somebody told me that as I get older I can't have fun?
You can't.
Is that really serving what I want?
Yeah. Is it true that you can't do that?
Is it true? There you go. That's the answer.
Yeah.
No. It is not true. If you want more fun in life, make the connection with your inner child and come from that space of spontaneity and joy. I promise that you'll start having more fun in your life.
Yeah.
And this last part is really relevant to what we're talking about today with limits and beliefs. To know about here. Do you want me to just continue?
Sure.
I might as well. Were you welcomed as a child? Were your parents really glad you were born? Were they delighted with your sexuality, or did they want the opposite sex? Did you feel you were wanted as a child? Was there a celebration when you arrived? Whatever the responses are, welcome your child now. Create a celebration. Tell it all the wonderful things you would tell a little baby who was welcomed into its new life. What is it you always wanted your parents to tell you when you were a child? What was it that they never said that you wanted to hear? All right, tell your child that very thing. Tell it to your child every day for a month while looking in the mirror and see what happens. And I really like that because it kind of brings back to your story about just getting a really big hug from your parents and how powerful that was because you knew that they loved you. That was one thing that you really craved and how beautiful that was when you had that experience.
Yeah, it's awesome. You can do amazing things just with visualizations and meditations.
Yeah, you can heal your life, as Louise Hay would say.
Yeah, she's the queen of it.
If you had alcoholic or abusive parents as a child, you can meditate and visualize them as sober, gentle people. Give your child what it wants. It has probably been deprived for too long. Start visualizing the sort of life you would like to have with this child. When this child feels safe and happy, it can trust you. Ask, what do I need to do so that you can trust me? Again, you will be amazed at some of the answers. If you had parents who were not loving at all, and it's really hard for you to relate to them, find a picture of what you think a loving father or a loving mother looks like. Put the pictures of the loving parents around the photo of yourself as a child. Create some new images. Rewrite your childhood if you must. The beliefs that you learned when you were little are still inside the child. If your parents had rigid ideas and you're very hard on yourself or tend to build walls, your child is probably still following your parents' rules. If you continue to pick on yourself for every mistake, it must be very scary for your inner child to wake up in the morning. What is she or he going to yell at me about today? What our parents did to us is in the past. Okay, what our parents did to us is in the past and was their consciousness. We are the parents now. We are using our consciousness. If you are still refusing to take care of the little child, you are stuck in self-righteous resentment. Invariably, it means that there's still someone to forgive. So what is it you haven't forgiven yourself for? What do you need to let go of? Well, whatever it is, just let it go. If we are not giving the child praise and attention now, our parents aren't to blame. They were doing what they thought was right in that particular space and time. However, now in the present moment, we know what we can do to nourish the child within us.
Yeah, that's so good. It's so true too that you are doing the best you can with what you know at the time. So there's a lot of forgiveness you have to do because we don't, really nobody knows how to raise a child till you have one, and you can't, you really are doing the best you can with what you have and what you know. So
And a lot of times figuring it out as you're going.
right, all the time. Speaking from experience, you're figuring out as you're going, and you just have to. I mean, you turn out. I mean, most kids turn out, some better than others, but no, you can't, as an adult, you can't really hold things against your parents because they really were doing the best they could most of the time. I know there's some that were terrible,
Right.
but for the most part, parents do what they can with what they have, and they're doing the best they can. We don't, as kids, realize all the stress that our parents have in some situations.
You don't have the whole picture.
Right, not at all. So, and in another way, some kids take on that stress of their parents when they shouldn't and don't need to.
Right.
But we gotta learn that, and we all have stuff to fix as we get older. But it's part of life.
A lot of times it's things to let go of.
Right.
And by doing this work, you get to empower yourself.
Yeah.
To now nourish that inner child of yours, to nourish yourself, and to tell yourself what you need to hear, what you want to hear, how you want to continue your life forward. Because just because something happened in the past doesn't mean that it needs to continue now.
Right.
And you get to choose how you move forward, right? So you get to choose, how am I going to have that relationship with that inner little being of myself, that inner child that's in there? How am I going to create this new reality? What reality do I want for myself? What do I want to feel? What do I want that little inner child to feel? And if we can work on that relationship together, and we can grow and become better and better and better and happier and happier and happier together, what healing could that bring for my life? How amazing could that be in such a short amount of time?
Right.
And if I want something like that, I can start right now.
Yeah.
I have these tools, these visualizations, these things that I can do right now to create something better for my life, and to begin to let go of those limitations that I've been putting on myself that really aren't from my inner being.
Right.
that are really from outside of myself that
Yeah.
aren't relevant to me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Such good stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Louise Hay was way beyond her time.
Yeah. And one thing that you were talking about earlier had to do with Olympians.
Yeah.
And I think that's really relevant to what we were talking about. So,
Right.
tell me a little bit about kind of what you've been seeing the
Yeah.
last few days.
I'm addicted to watching the Olympics. And my husband too. We just sit and watch it all night. But there were a couple of people, like there's he's a skater and he skates in the singles. And for their team, the team events, they got the gold. And then when he went on to the things for just himself, like the male, whatever, um, he is amazing and does backflips on the ice and things that most skaters would never even try. And he, was a shoe-in for the gold for sure. And he fell in his last performance, so he didn't get the medal. And people were so crushed and felt so bad for him, but he got up and his teammate actually, I think, got the gold, and he was happy for him and he hugged him, and it was so cool. I saw an interview this morning, I think it was with him, and he talked about, he worked so hard to get where he was at, but it, it's you know things happen. You can't say, oh, I'm never going to do that again just because I fell the one time and blew it.
Can't let that one performance define your entire life.
Define you. Yeah. And he'll be back and he'll do it again, and he's young, and he has plenty more chances to do it again. And I think this is the first time he's been at the Olympics, so he's really young. And it's just been amazing to see those team relationships and how they support each other, and they're really there. They're there to win for themselves, but they're also there for the team and to help each other and support each other. Another one was the
Monobob.
bob. Yeah, the single bobsled. I don't know where the name.
It's kind of fun to say, I think.
Yeah, it is a monobob. Anyway, I think she's 41 years old. She has two kids under 5 that are both deaf, and one is Down syndrome. And she has a heart of gold. And she won the gold. And I think, when she was on her run, she knew she qualified to at least be silver. But the next gal that they thought was going to beat her and get the gold, something happened and she had a slower time. And so the gal, and I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, but she has such an amazing story and she is so cool. And she was blown away that she got the gold. And I think she's been to the Olympics 4 or 5 times and hasn't won. I don't know if she's won a medal. And she keeps coming back. And she said that she did it for her kids, to show her kids that they can do what they want to do and they can do anything. And she did it, and it was just amazing to watch and to see her story. I didn't know anything about her before I watched that last run of hers. And the first thing she did when she thanked everybody was thank her childcare providers. And I thought, wow, that is so cool, because, her husband or partner, the dad of her kids, I don't know if they're married or what, but they they work together, and they have people to help with the kids so that she's able to live her dream. And it was just so cool to see. And, there's story upon story of that. And it's just so cool that it's a really humbling thing for those people, even if they don't get their gold or their silver or bronze or whatever, if they don't get a medal, they're coming back, and a lot of them come back year after year, and it's so great.
And a lot of them go, it's time to train harder.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Like they don't give up on themselves.
Right.
That's the thing, is that resilience, that I'm
Yeah.
not giving up on myself.
Yeah.
It's not over for me
Yeah.
till I say it's over.
Right.
And I don't have to say it's over.
Yeah.
That's limiting. They don't
Yeah.
limit themselves.
Yeah.
She's 41
Yeah.
and got the gold at the Olympics.
Right. That's
And
amazing.
she didn't say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
She didn't allow any of that in. And that's the thing, is she put her mind to it. The cooperative components came together so that she could train and do the things that she needed to do.
Yeah.
And she went to the Olympics again. And now
Yeah.
she got the gold medal for that at 41.
Yeah.
And
there was another gal that she on the American team, she got the bronze, and she also has a baby, like under, I don't know, pretty young, like I would say under 2 years old. So she's trained with an even younger kid, and it's just so amazing that they can do all the things,
Right.
And there's a lot of the women that have little kids. There's one on the hockey team, and her little boy is kind of their mascot, and it's so cool to watch those stories unfold in front of you. It's, if you haven't watched the Olympics, watch them, because it really is uplifting, and it'll make you think, wow, if they can do that, why can't I sled down a hill? Or,
right. What's possible for me?
Right. Yeah.
What do I think is possible? And what do I know is possible beyond that?
Yeah.
And how can I start moving towards those possibilities?
Right.
Dreaming is something that we always talk about as being super important, because if I could have anything, what would it be? If I could do anything, what would it be? What's my bucket list? We were talking about some of our bucket list things at the beginning of the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Think about those things, and write down some things that you're telling yourself that really aren't true. Write them down and switch them to a better statement, that, cross them off if it's really not the truth.
Do freedom release.
Yeah.
On those things, with the positive of it, of releasing those limitations in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allow yourself to really move forward. Do some inner child work and let your inner child know it's safe to dream. It's safe to try new things. It's safe for me to change and grow and become more, because that's really what we want to do. And get excited to go on that journey together. That adventure.
Yeah. 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 Such good stuff today.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, it makes me think about, the places that I've gone that I never thought that I would get to, but now I've been there, I've seen that, I've done these things,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. We are amazing beings, and we can do so much that you never thought was possible. And it's all possible.
It brings me back to an exercise that we did on a previous podcast, which is one of my favorite exercises ever.
Yeah.
So many of you that are watching this podcast are probably familiar with a little man named Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Who is a giant, wonderful man who's brought us many, many good and wonderful things.
Right.
And he just did a wonderful summit as well, for free for people, which is amazing that he still does those, because I love attending them.
Yeah.
And he did an exercise, it was last year, and maybe he did it at this other one. I haven't watched it all the way through yet. But there's an exercise that kind of teaches us about what we think our limits are and what they actually are.
Yeah.
And so I think we should just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
It doesn't take long.
No, I might botch it, but we're gonna do it anyway. I haven't like described it to other humans in a while.
Yeah.
So
we did it not too long ago.
We're gonna have to stand up for this one.
Yeah.
So stand up with us, guys, and let's do it together. And I'm gonna just walk Tracy through it. So since I don't know if we can both be on the camera at the same time. Maybe we can. Okay, so I want you to just kind of stand. I want you to have your feet about shoulder width apart, just kind of straight down. And I want you to take one of your hands, your right hand or your left hand, whichever your dominant hand is, and I want it to go straight out in front of you. And now I want you to turn as far behind you as possible. So I want you to turn all the way as far as you can go and point. Okay, now see where that is, that first point, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so now you've marked your point spot. All right, so now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see yourself standing just as you are today, right now. And I don't want you to do it, but I want you to just see yourself, visualize, see yourself pointing and going a little bit further than you just did with your pointer finger. Just see it in your mind, right? Okay. So that you've done that. Now I want you to, in your mind, I want you to see yourself going 3/4 of the way, all the way around to all the way to your other shoulder, even further. And see yourself pointing and turning all the way that far. See it in your mind's eye right now. Feel it. Okay, one more time. I want you to see yourself pointing and going this time all the way around and facing forward again, pointing all the way. You just went all the way around. Good. All right, now I want you to do this exercise again. I want you to have your eyes closed and point your finger in front of you. And now I want you to turn as far as you can go, pointing your finger out. Whoa. How far did you go?
A lot farther.
I did too. I felt it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so invariably, everybody goes a lot farther than they did the first time.
Yeah. And even the first time I went farther than I thought I was going to be able to go.
Yeah, I was like, hey, yeah, that wasn't too bad for today, huh?
That's good.
But it tells you that you're only limited to what you think is possible. And it shows you that if you think beyond the limits that you think that you have, you can go much, much, much farther than you ever would have thought possible before.
Yeah. That's good.
I love that exercise. It's one of my favorites. Good. And it really, illustrates in real time what it's like to go beyond your limits in that moment. Even something as simple as a physical exercise. Right.
We should just do that once a week.
To remind ourselves.
Yeah.
And maybe even that'll be a nice stretch for our backs. Too.
Yeah, it did feel good. I was thinking, geez, I should do it the other way too.
Yeah, we could. Maybe we will after our podcast.
Yeah.
Stretching exercise.
Yeah. Really good. All right, Carissa, where can we find you on the wonderful world of webs? And do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, well, if we're going on the interwebs, people hate that word. I love it.
I love it too.
You can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. You can find us collectively on Facebook at Our SoulSpace. You can find us on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast. You'll see our beautiful faces together on there in a little circle. And you can also find me on my Square site, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between, .square.site. And I do have some things coming up soon.
Awesome.
I'm going to be doing a Reiki 2 class in March. We are setting the date with a couple of my students right now, so I'll let you know what that's going to be very soon. And I have a couple of expos coming up in April.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm going to be with Souls of Spirit Expos in Fargo in April, and then I'm also going to be in Bismarck with Souls of Spirit Expos also. I just love those expos. There's so much beautiful energy. It's so fun. I do my angel spirit guide readings. I connect with so many wonderful people at those, whether it's, clients or friends I haven't seen in a while, or other practitioners. It's just a wonderful time. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So come see me if you're at either of those. Those events are on Facebook at Souls of Spirit Expos, and I'll share those on my Facebook page soon as well.
Awesome.
So that's what's coming up in March, April so far. You never know.
Yeah. Things can book up fast.
Yeah. And what are you up to, Tracy, right now? Where can people find what you're doing?
I am at inspiredsignals.com. My links are there. I'm also Facebook and Instagram, Inspired Signals and Inspired Signals Studio. I've been doing an art challenge lately, or in an art community that I'm in, and I've been posting some pictures of stuff I've been doing, but it's just play stuff, but it's really fun. And that got me excited to do another artistic alchemy series. So we will do the first one on Monday at 6:30 here at SoulSpace.
Who's coming?
Yes, come. And that's gonna be fun. We're gonna do, the first one is like intuitive painting. So it'll be a fun exercise to just play freely, play with our inner child and paint. So that's coming up Monday. I also have a Reiki masterclass coming in March. And I do have the date set, the 16th, I think. If that's a Monday, that's the date. So I'll do that day. That's all I have on my books right now, but there's stuff.
More to come.
I'll do an artistic alchemy class in March too. I just haven't set the date for that one yet. So yeah, that's it right now.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's fun.
We have a lot of fun stuff coming up right now, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun.
So come join us for painting on Monday.
Yeah.
23rd.
Love to have you. You do have to RSVP. There is an event out on Facebook. Look for Artistic Alchemy under my personal page, I guess. I think I put it out. But I mean, I shared it on SoulSpace and on Inspired Signals. So it's on both of those.
I'm already going.
Huh?
I'm already going.
Yeah, you're going. I saw that.
RSVP.
Yeah. I need to share it out more. I haven't shared it again since the day I made it, but I will share it again. But yeah, I do need RSVP, so I bring enough supplies for everybody, and that's gonna be so fun.
Yes. So it's always a wonderful time.
Yeah.
So look forward to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong when you're doing something creative.
Right. And we're talking about opening up to our inner child. We're talking about doing the things that bring us joy. And think about as a child how much you love to like paint or draw or color. I mean, it's so perfect.
It is really good for your mental wellness.
Yeah, I enjoy it so much. Like I've said before, letting go of perfectionism was one of the best things you ever helped me with these.
Hard, but it's fun. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. So we will see you again next week, same place, same time.
Yes, we look forward to it. We're going to continue our theme of love. Yeah. And we're going to bring you a lot more wonderful things next week. Looking forward to it. Bye, guys.
Bye.